Alright, got the YouTube live going here. Changed a little bit of the settings on the microphone because a student kind of told me I was yelling in an angry way. I don't know if that's true, but hopefully this is a little bit better, a little bit more crisp, as one would say. So we're going to wait for maybe another 20-30 more seconds, just so there's some more people in the live. So then we're waiting for a couple more people, but we'll be going over the cryptocurrency market today, going over Bitcoin and many of these alts here, Ethereum, XRP, Link, and then we'll go over some interesting news topics that we found within our Discord. Alright, so I think we're going to start here. Don't have a whole lot of people watching just yet, but obviously this will be posted on our YouTube channel like we do every single day. So let's get this recording going. Welcome traders to another crypto market update. In this video, we're going to be going over some news topics regarding the crypto market, just some regulatory things, as well as some news topics on an exchange that we'll be going over within the video, and then we'll be going over the price action of Bitcoin, and then looking at the supply and demand of one of the exchanges, BitMEX, and then to finally top it off, we'll go over some of the alts that we are looking to trade to capture that volatility. So to start off, we will go on our Discord and go to our settings, or sorry, our news, not in our settings, but we go to our news, which would be right here. And then we collect our daily news articles that we like to read. We like to kind of keep up on anything that is interesting that we are going to cover would be in here. And it's absolutely free. The news Panda bot that we have within our Discord posts every single relevant news topic within the cryptocurrency sector. So basically, this is a one-stop shop for all things related to do with news-related articles involving cryptocurrencies. So that is the first thing we're going to be going over today. I just pulled up a few things that I thought was pretty interesting. First one we're going to be going over is Baidu and Google. Baidu is the Chinese version of Google. Trend sees increased interest in purchasing Bitcoin. So with so many people around the world working from home, social distancing, and self-quarantine after possible exposure to COVID-19, online searches surrounding cryptocurrencies have gotten a bump. According to a report available on Cointelegraph, the Chinese search engine Baidu has seen a considerable jump in searches for Bitcoin, or BTC. The data index shows searches for BTC increased by 183% over the past 30 days, while the number of those looking for information on the cryptocurrency on mobile devices also shot up. The interest may be related to the theory that global economic meltdown may lead to a growing value for the cryptocurrency as a hedge against the banks. So either way, I think that is pretty positive, seeing individuals get interested in cryptocurrencies, just from being at home, being curious, because it's definitely an interesting topic to think about, and then also the fact that it could also be because of the economic turmoil and the economic uncertainty that we're currently facing globally. And as you can see, Google searches result. That was the Chinese version, so that was on Baidu. That paragraph right here, and then the next one's going to be for Google, so that's kind of the rest of the world here. Google's searches for BTC in the United States had a 30-day high on March 13th. This was shortly after the cryptocurrency experienced its biggest daily drop in the last 7 years, when over $1 billion worth of longs was liquidated. And we'll talk about that within the next couple news articles here talking about BitMEX, but interesting to see that people are getting more interested in cryptocurrencies. Next topic is going to be, let's do this one because it's pretty relevant to what we just talked about. BitMEX defends insurance fund being barely used in BTC price crash. So this is talking about in the previous news article, talking about March 12th being the massive crash that happened that dropped 60%. So we see Bitcoin, BTC, derivative exchange BitMEX, which is one of the exchanges that we used to use. We don't use BitMEX anymore. For people who are using BitMEX, another option would be Bybit. I found that its exchange is a lot more reliable in terms of getting stop losses filled, not getting skipped, being able to actually enter and exit orders when there is volatility, unlike BitMEX, which doesn't really allow you to do that. But it continues to field criticism after attempting to explain a mass liquidation event during which BTC USD crashed over 60% in value. Massive, massive dump. BitMEX insurance fund functioned as normal. So we'll talk about it more. Basically, each exchange has a account that is kind of their insurance. If anything happens, they can pull funds from that account to kind of try to alleviate any difficulties that the company is seeing. So at the time, BitMEX appeared to suffer from what was various sources have called the cascading margin call, forcing out traders and sustaining the price of Bitcoin plummeting in the process. The exchange then went offline for about half an hour, after which the price recovered, which is very scary. Let's say you entered an order, you didn't set a stop loss, you wanted to do something, you had a position in, and it suddenly stops, and you can't do anything for basically half an hour when BTC is more volatile than it's ever been basically for most retail traders. That's a position no one wants to be in. After fending off claims of foul play, BitMEX still faces queries over why its giant insurance fund, a bank of over 35,000 Bitcoin estimated around $205.6 million, was not used to help. Explaining its role, the blog post states that the fund's primary purpose has always remained the same: to prevent auto-deleveraging, ADL, of successful traders' positions to prevent the bankruptcy of positions that get liquidated. It's important to the fund to be large enough to absorb intraday shocks to avoid ADL, which is auto-deleveraging, on its platform, it summarizes. I don't know, I personally think that making sure the successful traders are not getting auto-deleveraged is less important than making sure the people who are having these massive margin calls happen to them is more important, personally. Obviously, they have their own way of viewing the markets, but in my opinion, it kind of seems like the little guy is getting kind of kicked in the mouth here. Well, the more successful traders are getting the benefit of getting the funds for the auto-deleveraging. But we'll continue on here. There was some backlash with Twitter-based trader Low Strife argued. The main question I raise here is why the insurance fund, when the worst case scenario almost happened, was barely used. I completely agree. March 12th saw the highest number of liquidations in BitMEX history at 876 million. So we can see the white lines, we can see total daily liquidations was peaking at above 750 million in total daily liquidations, and then the red dots are going to be for sell liquidations. We see a lot right around here, and the green ones, or the blue ones, are for the buy. So a little bit sketchy in terms of the legitimacy of the explanation, in my opinion. That's kind of why I don't use BitMEX. I've had troubles in the past where I couldn't get liquidated. I couldn't get filled on orders, and it caused me too much of a headache, and I just said screw it. So I just use mainly Binance as well as Bybit as well. But, be safe out there, everyone. It is an exchange that people have had difficulties with, so just fair warning there. So the next news topic, we got two more. This is Mike Novogratz. He is a very well-known kind of figurehead within the cryptocurrency space. He is the founder of Galaxy Digital. Invested fairly early. Literally he's a billionaire. He's put some significant percentage of his net worth in Bitcoin. So he is a massive, massive whale. Probably one of the biggest whales out there. So he said, BTC will continue to be volatile over the next few months, but the macro backdrop is why it was created. This will be and needs to be BTC's year. So I agree with that, with so many fundamental factors coming into play, with banks printing literally trillions of dollars, well, the US anyways, and billions for different countries, or hundreds of millions at least. That's going to be a major factor, as well as basically having no real kind of end in sight here in terms of how long it could go. I do think that I agree it's going to be volatile, it's going to be deflationary. until there is somewhat of an end in sight. I think that will kind of create a little bit more confidence in the markets, but until that happens and until that kind of comes into fruition, I don't think that there's going to be a huge bull market. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Bitcoin was always a confidence game. All crypto is, and it appears global confidence is just about anything has evaporated. Yeah, I completely agree. You see gold and silver go down as well. They are actually pumping up, and we will talk about it within the global macro update that we will be doing later on today. But it does look like there is a little bit more surge in buy pressure for gold and silver right now, which could then lead into BTC. Kind of makes sense looking at the fundamental factors of the U.S. literally saying they'll print as much as they have unlimited cash basically. But we'll talk about that within the other update. But overall, Mike is saying that he's super bullish on BTC on the long term, but on the short term, he still thinks that there's going to be some pretty significant volatility to come. So we got to be pretty careful. We got to be conservative. We got to be patient, and we got to size down until we have a better trend of the market. I've been telling everyone to size down in this market because it's volatile. You know, the Fed could literally just say, we are printing X many dollars, and like we saw today, they made an announcement, and then BTC shot up. We were short. One of the trades got taken out. Other trade was able to withstand that push to the upside, and now we're not looking too bad with it. But you know, these things can happen, especially in very volatile times. So we have to make sure that we are giving more room, lowering our position size, and just giving more room so the price can move and have a little bit more space to play around. Last thing, we can see taking notes of Bitcoin's apparent decoupling from the COVID-stricken traditional markets earlier this week. This is the CEO of crypto. I call him Champagne Zhao. The CEO of Exchange has similarly argued that the pandemic should be understood as a trigger rather than a root cause of a visibly fragile world economic order. So that is definitely something to take into consideration, considering a lot of these people who are in very, very high roles of major exchanges, major hedge funds. They're all kind of seeing a similar outlook as we are within a community of our Discord. So it's good to see. Last final topic that we're going to be going over today. This is actually very interesting. I don't know how it's going to play out, but basically I'll kind of give you a rundown and then we'll go into it. This exchange is trying to create a community where you can create bots and algorithms to trade for you, and then you can lend those or rent those bots and algorithms out. And also they're trying to help with the ease of a novice trader getting into the market. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. And let's dive into it here. There's definitely a little bit more to talk about, but we'll try to go a little bit quicker here. So Bots is going to be the exchange or the platform. Its mission is to become a preferred platform for beginners and professional traders alike. The service aspires to deliver a low learning curve for those who are new to cryptocurrencies or trading in general, with risk management tools designed to keep capital safe and reduce the risk of falling victims to scam. Very important. We really try to kind of, how do I say this nicely? I'm just going to say, we drill into people that risk management is key. Maybe that doesn't sound too bad, but we do everything we can to ensure that we are trying to explain how important risk management is to all our students. So I completely agree with this. A comprehensive training section enables users to learn and grow at their own pace with resources that are beneficial to more seasoned enthusiasts. Bots also says it delivers a blockchain-based web and mobile trading platform that links to major exchanges. So that's pretty interesting. We'll see how it plays out in terms of the education. Is it super basic, or is it actually going to be able to provide more of an in-depth environment where people can learn other than the basics of what's an RSI, what's a trend, more in-depth stuff, more of a system and approach to actually looking at how to trade, not just like charts itself, but how to become a trader. Users have the freedom to rely on a complete set of sophisticated tools and strategies, and for those who